Today is Saturday, August 30th, 2025, and it's almost 11 p.m. And I haven't posted a video in a while, I know. And even though it is not the last day of the month, it is the weekend, so I highly doubt I'm going to be placing any trades on the weekend, which means you guys are going to be able to see how much money I made this month in terms of option premiums, dividends, minus my margin interest, of course. Let's get right into it. So this past week, I am down 3.45%. And this is on a week where the NASDAQ is down almost 0.5%. For the past month, I am up almost 1%. And for the NASDAQ, it is up 0.29%. But year to date, I am still greatly outperforming the NASDAQ, 95%. However, it looks like my Roth IRA is struggling a little bit, down almost 5% on Friday, back to 1,600, which is unfortunate because it was at 1,900 not too long ago. But it is what it is. To give you guys an update on my transaction history, I did go ahead and close that covered call on Robinhood, and I did collect my very pitiful win dividend. Finally, we get to how much money I made this month, which is definitely a steep drop from previous months. For example, in April, I made about $557. In May, it's $1,638. In June, it was $1,910. July, it was $1,235. However, in August, I only made about $159. And this is coming from $281 from options trading and just trading in general, and $202 in dividends, minus $325 in Robinhood margin interest. So nothing too special this month. Definitely disappointing that it's only 159. It could have been higher if I closed out the rest of my Robinhood covered calls, but I'm fine with it. I've already told myself to hold the rest of them, which are they're both at $170 strikes, I believe. And I'm kind of waiting to see if Robinhood is going to have that one last leg up, because right now, yeah, it's at $103. And like I said, it could have that one last leg up to maybe 125, 150-ish, somewhere around there. If it gets included into the S&P, if crypto really starts to take off even more, because Ethereum, I believe, has been taking off. So potentially we could see one last hurrah for Robinhood. And if that does happen, I am highly considering 100 strike covered calls on Robinhood. So just to give you guys a little preview of what I've been thinking about, what I'm considering. So somewhere in 2026, just to glance at the covered calls. So we have the 100 strikes right now for February 2026 trading just above $20. And of course, that's going to be about $2,000 in option premium. And I've already told myself that I want to keep at least 1,000 shares of Robinhood. So if we go ahead and do 3, and then let's just say slightly above the bid, because I don't really like placing it at the bid if I'm able to get a little bit more out of the market. So assuming nothing changes too much when the market reopens, I believe Tuesday, I am able to collect just above 6,000 in option premium expiring in February 2026. However, if this continues to go up and we see Robinhood at 125, 150-ish, then definitely these option premiums are going to be much higher. And now we get to some of your guys' comments on my previous videos. We have It's Magno that asks, do you feel like Hood is still a good investment? It doesn't seem to have moved in a whole month. Keep in mind, It's Magnos, that when you ask me this question, you're asking a guy that bought Robinhood at $10 a share, and now it's at $103 a share. So my perspective on it might be a little bit different, and I might not be as willing to buy the stock because my cost basis is like $9-10 a share, right? So I don't really feel the need to buy more. And as I've said in previous videos, I do think there's a high possibility that maybe end of this year, 2026, 2027, or maybe even pushing it all the way out to 2029, we could see a serious correction or bear market. And definitely Robinhood will be one of those stocks to drop to 85, maybe even 65 a share. So even though there is still a possibility for Robinhood to hit 125 from here, I don't think it's worth the risk, right? I don't think it's worth buying it at 103 right now just to try to milk it to 125 when there's still a decent probability of a correction or even a bear market in the next coming years. So I don't know if you noticed, but I've been making a lot of covered call trades in my account, and that's just to kind of hedge my portfolio a little bit, stack up some option premiums, saving it up as cash. So I don't know if that helps you out a little bit, but that is what my plan is at the moment. And then we have Chicken Joe, who is a regular. He says my American Eagle options paid off, and congrats to you. I think my American Eagle option is it's either slightly below or it's hovering around break even right now, but my Coles call option is sitting at 100% right now, so I am happy about that. But congrats to you, man. I think American Eagle reports earnings actually this coming week, so that should be very interesting. Hopefully it does very well. But Chicken Joe also asks, what do traders do during a bear market? I've only really been learning and trading by myself since the end of the pandemic, so I've never seen a bear market, lol. So obviously traders trade during a bear market, just kidding. But as of what I plan on doing and what I would do, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, and don't take this as financial advice because I don't know what your situation is. But what I personally like to do for myself is during bear markets, I like to set myself up for the long term, pick out some good opportunities, go heavy on it. For example, Robinhood during the last bear market, it was at $8, $9, $10 a share. I was scooping it up, and obviously it paid off very well as we entered this new bull market. So in my personal opinion, investing is a lot easier during a bear market, and trading is actually a lot easier during a bull market. Because in a bear market, you have to remember, you have a lot of those fake out rallies, those bull traps, but you also have some bear traps here and there, and volatility is just super high, right? When you're in a bear market, obviously put option premiums are going to be very expensive, and call option premiums tend to be a little bit cheaper, especially if you're looking at leaps. But the issue is you don't really know when the market is going to come out of that bear market, right? You don't know when sentiment is going to start to change. So it's kind of risky to play both sides. And like I've already said, the volatility is very high. So the market always wants to screw both sides. But I think especially during bear markets, it really likes to screw both sides. So I just think it's so much easier during a bear market to set yourself up for the long term, pick out some good opportunities, scoop them up at cheap prices, set yourself up very well for the bull market. And during bull markets like the one I think we're in right now, it's just a lot easier to do these trades that I've been doing. For example, my Robinhood covered calls that I've been hedging a little bit. I've also recently made a trade on Lemonade. I made like $1,000 in equity off of it. So I just think it's a lot easier during bull markets to make these trades versus bear markets. Yeah, you can still trade, but if the market keeps going up and it enters a bull market, well, now you're going to miss out. So the saying that I kind of like to follow, I don't think anybody else has said this, so I'm going to take credit for it, but I like to be in a position where I can comfortably invest aggressively during bear markets. And the only way you can really do that is if you set yourself up correctly during the bull market. So when we enter that bear market, you have a lot of cash, you're comfortable, you're not panicking, and you can comfortably invest aggressively like what I did with Robinhood. asks, love the videos, bro, keep it up. If you get the chance, could you cover ticker symbols BBAI or Honest? So I have covered Honest a lot in my previous videos. Like I said, I think it's trading at $4 right now, and my price target is 10. I love the company. I love their mission. I love their products. But unfortunately, the stock has just been kind of hovering around most of this year. So that's just pretty much where we are right now. But in terms of BBAI, I've heard a lot of you guys talk about this stock in the comments, and to be honest, I don't know anything about this company. But just briefly looking at the chart on TradingView, it looks like there is a gap above $6, and it's hovering around the 200 daily moving average. So you can take that for what it's worth. Like I said, I don't know anything about this company. If we take a look at the monthlies, yeah, on the monthly chart, it looks like there's moving averages crossing over. So, who knows, potentially it could go back up to $10. But like I said, I don't know anything about this company, and I'm most likely not going to be playing it. But that's just my first impression on BBAI.